Hello, good morning, and welcome to Sport for Business, where we are joined this morning by Andrew Edwards. He is the Managing Director of Go Ahead Ireland. And this morning, they have announced that they are going to be the brand new sponsors of Dublin GAA's league and championships in both men's football, hurling, ladies football, and camogie. So you're very welcome to Sport for Business, Andrew.
Hi, Robin. Thanks for having me. I'm delighted to be here.
It's a big step, and we're familiar with seeing the Go Ahead brand on buses around Dublin. Tell us a little bit about the company and where you managed to get into the Irish market and just how big you are on an international scale.
Okay, yes. So, Go Ahead Group, we were an international business. We operate across the UK, Ireland, obviously. We're in Singapore, Germany, the Nordics. We have a small business operating in Australia as well. So in 2017, when the National Transport Authority opened up the market for tendering in Dublin, we were the successful bidder for the Outer Dublin metropolitan area network, which runs originally 125 buses around the Dublin area. It's a very wide network. So we go all the way up to Balbriggan, and then we go all the way down to Bray Shankill, I guess, on the Dublin border. But then we go as far as Greystones as well. And then a year later, we won another contract, the Dublin commuter contract, which operates between Naas and Edenderry into the Dublin city centre for the commuter services. So we've had some good successes since being here, but what we were looking at was how can we entrench ourselves more in the community that we serve. Before the pandemic, we were carrying around 12 to 15 million people per year. So it was how can we make more of that?
And I guess when you look at Hearts and Minds and you see from Balbriggan and O'Dwyer's down to Shankill and Coola, Dublin GAA spans the network and it does reach into all of those communities. Where was the first point of contact in terms of establishing a relationship with the organisation?
Yeah, so I arrived in Dublin I arrived in September and started my job at the start of October in Go Ahead Ireland, and brought the family with me, my wife and 2 kids. So we're going to be Dubs, I think, at some point. I just need to change the accent ever so slightly. So when I arrived, what we started looking at was our strategy again. So the business had been through a big mobilization period where we'd launched 2 very large contracts. And as we come out of that to go into business as usual, COVID-19 hit. So that was obviously a big frustration, I guess, to not just Go Ahead Ireland, but Ireland itself and the world. So when I arrived, what we were looking at is how can we come out of the COVID-19 situation and raise our profile as a business, but get more into the communities we serve. And we really challenged ourselves with this. And what we found was we wanted something that was beneficial to all. We wanted to benefit the community as much as possible. It was actually my colleague, my finance director, James, who said, well, what about Dublin GAA? And we thought, well, sport is inclusive for all. And it's definitely the lifeblood and the well-being of communities, particularly from what I've seen since I've been living here, is certainly in Ireland itself. Sport, it means a lot. And so we thought, okay, great, let's have a look at that. And I Googled GAA and I started to look at it a bit more. I had a broad understanding of what the Dublin GAA was about, but I hadn't appreciated how in the community they really were. So when we pinpointed everything on the map, which was quite exciting for us, there's 88 clubs in the Dublin area, and we actually on our network, because we're so spread, and as I said, we go up Balbriggan, we come all the way down to Greystones, and we go all the way out west to Naas. Granted, some of that's not in the Dublin area, but we touch on 60 of the clubs of those 88, and we just thought, wow, this is a great opportunity for us to really start getting into the community as a business. So we reached out to Tomás Quinn from Dublin GAA in about December time, and we had some really good conversations with him. And Dublin GA were looking for a partner that's sustainable, looking for someone that's really keen to get into the community. And we thought, well, this is all we're trying to do. We're a sustainable business, and we are really keen to be more in the community and show that we're here to, to show Ireland, to show our stakeholders, to show the community that we're here, and we're here for the long term in Ireland. And we thought this was a great opportunity for us to partner. So, I mean, we had some great discussions. We realized that our values very much align as well, in the sense of the community. So therefore, it was easy for us to get on board and really like get ready to be part of this partnership for an initial 3 years. And I think Dublin GAA felt the same.
I think the moral of the story there for Tomás Quinn is to always pick up the phone. Anyway, that's a great story about how the different ways that sponsorship comes about. The expansion of it to include all 4 codes, was that important to you in terms of making this very inclusive for all the men, all the women, all the boys, all the girls?
Oh, certainly. I mean, when we first discussed with Tomás, it was what can we do and how far can we take this? And he did a brilliant job for us, in fairness, to actually bring all the different codes together from Dublin GAA and make it work for the partnership, which is great for us. I mean, public transport is inclusive, isn't it? And it's community led. So we thought it was fitting to have all the codes together. And then from a Go Ahead point of view, we're keen to be an employer of choice, of course, but we're an inclusive and diverse business too. Go Ahead Group, we have a target by 2025 to raise the amount of women working in the bus industry, or the bus industry for Go Ahead, to 20%. It's currently around 11%, and that's the same for Go Ahead Ireland. So we're keen to encourage a more diverse workforce and have colleagues from not only all backgrounds, but male and female too. So we're on this journey already, and a great thing that I can say about Go Ahead Ireland is we have 40% of my senior leadership team are women, and 35% of my management team are women too. So we've started the journey well, but it's an opportunity for us to actually continue to encourage more women to work in the bus industry. And we thought, but again, that partnership with Dublin GAA and inclusivity for all was a great way to demonstrate that.
One of the key initiatives that government at local level and at national level is trying to do is trying to encourage more of us to get out of our cars and get onto public transport. And obviously going to matches is one of those key areas. So is there a possibility that there could be promotional offers for fans going to follow their clubs to finals at Parnell Park, or even to Croke Park for Dublin senior matches when we're allowed to do so?
Yeah, I mean, well, first of all, it'd be amazing when we can get people back into stadiums. I'm certainly looking forward to getting out a bit more, and that's going to be fantastic to see. I mean, again, we're contracted under the NTA, and they're the ones who set the fares, and they take the revenue for the contract we operate. So, unfortunately, I won't be able to say free travel for all. But what we can do is, we do it now, and we're going to continue to do it and work with Dublin GAA, is around offering up competitions for leap cards, where people can be involved and win leap cards, which they can then use for all public transport in Dublin. Because obviously we want as many people out of their cars as possible and onto any form of public transport in the Dublin area, because the more congestion, the less cars we have on the road, the less congestion, and then the more we can run reliable bus services for the commuters around Dublin. But not only that, I mean, there's other initiatives we're looking at too. So part of the partnership is that we get branded merchandise. There's signed jerseys, signed footballs, signed hurleys as well. So we're looking at what we can do more for competitions and really engage with the communities to allow them to be fully part of it and win some of this stuff, and then they can use it for good causes too. And we do get some tickets as well, so hopefully we'll be able to, if we can get back into the stadiums, we'll be able to give some of them out to both colleagues and the general public as well.
Well, if we do manage to get 20,000 in for an All Ireland final, then that's going to be a fairly hot ticket, I would imagine.
I can imagine, yeah.
The leagues and the championships are spread across so many different venues, and a number of them in public parks, some of them in smaller stadia. How will you present yourself in terms of the league of the championship? Or is that something that you've got to work out yet?
Well, straight away, I mean, just for the league and championships for Parnell Park, we'll be having some advertisements of Go Ahead Ireland in the stadiums. But for us, it's how can we get more into the community and into the clubs themselves. So we're going to be looking at some of the community partners and talking to them about what more we can do there. But not only that, you've got things like the live streaming, Dubs TV. So we'll be for all of that sort of thing, we're going to be having backgrounds with Go Ahead Ireland. For the club championships and the leagues, it's going to be called the Go Ahead Dublin, and then the league type and code. So I think that would be a nice thing just to start raising the profile. But then, like I said, there's the initiatives we'd like to do more of. It's working with the clubs, finding out how we can be involved in causes, finding out how we can offer solutions to some areas they may have challenges with. And then it's building on that too for the community. So working with schools, working with local community leaders on challenges that they have that we can then bring to the fore. If it's about how to be more inclusive on a particular bus route, if it's about a disability or something, we can work with that, and we can use our partnership with the GAA to really bring it to the fore as well, and make it worthwhile for everyone involved.
It does sound like you've got plenty of imagination and plenty of energy to bring to it. It's great to have a brand new sponsor coming into the sport, and particularly at that local and community level. In a couple of years' time, hopefully we'll be able to do a branded blue bus to go alongside the old Route Master picture that's there behind you on the wall. You've only been here for 9 months. I guess that you haven't quite managed to put down your roots yet, but have you been approached by any individual club to get involved with them yet?
Not yet, no. I mean, it was only a month ago we could start leaving 5 kilometers from where we live. So I live in the South Dublin area. I mean, what we're looking for is my daughter's 7 and my stepson's 17, and my daughter is very interested in sport now, and she's starting to look at team sports. So that's become an interest of her. I mean, I'm a fan of the sport in general. I'm not going to profess to know that I know everything about Gaelic football and hurling, but I watched it when I was younger because I think Sky Sports had the rights to show it at certain times in the UK at one point. So managed to get a bit of an understanding there. I love the sport itself. I've been watching it since the last few Saturdays and Sunday afternoons. It's been great to watch on TV. Although I think it'd be more interesting when the fans are back inside the stadiums. But I love the physicality, I love the speed of it, and I love the sportsmanship of it as well, where you can play really hard, and then at the end of it you can dust yourself down, shake hands, and then carry on. I mean, I played ice hockey and inline hockey when I was younger, so although very different in terms of the actual sport, the way it works, it's very similar. And then from the Dublin GAA point of view as well, just the community aspect, I hadn't appreciated how community based it really was until I really got involved in understanding this partnership. So I think it's exciting. Don't have a club, so I don't have a club myself, but we'll probably try and find one close to home. But then I was thinking as well, maybe as a competition around this, where the managing director of Go Ahead Ireland is nominated a club by a community. So there's maybe something we can do with that too.
Well, I'm the club PRO for Coola, who are the Dublin senior hurling champions at the moment. Yeah. So consider yourself nominated anyway. We'll get you along to a game or two down around here. But for the moment, anyway, look, it's great to have you on board. Thanks for taking the time to be with us this morning. And hopefully you'll be enjoying a really positive 3 years engagement with Dublin GAA. So for the time being anyway, Andrew Edwards, CEO of Go Ahead, the new sponsors of Dublin GAA, LGFA and Camogie Association Leagues and Championships. Thank you very much.
Thanks for your time, Rob. Great to talk to you. See you again.